Hello, everybody. Anime Reflux. For some reason, it feels really weird to hear my own voice in my ears, but whatever. It's only been doing this for like 6 years, but whatever. It's fine. 7 years. Oh God, I'm old. All right. So, uh, Black Butler, because we're not weebs. You can say the English name.
Black Butler.
Yeah. Whoa.
You always. This is I think we talked about it last time, but for anybody who didn't hear us, this is a show that was very popular with that one girl you knew in middle or high school who watched anime. This is one of the big three of
Um,
that type of show. It was
um,
Orin, this, and Hatalia.
I'm gonna pretend that this show came out while I was in high school and not
Or
well after
college.
it.
There was a time when this was just very popular, like among that demographic, though,
Yeah.
of like that age of girls.
Hmm.
I know because I knew girls who were very, very into this.
For good reason. Turns out it's pretty good.
hmm So, care to tell us what it's all about?
So, there's a kid. He is rich, and his parents are dead. He does not become Batman.
I was waiting for that.
Instead, he somehow forms a contract with the devil. Or demon, or something. Or some creature from hell. Who
Demon
then.
Batman.
Okay. I didn't catch that. So, he becomes the kid's butler, basically.
Yes.
Not stated outright in the show, but they don't really dance
It's
around
pretty
it either.
obvious.
Yeah. Um, so we skip forward a bit in time, presumably, and we see what is basically a fairly standard day in this household's general operations. There is a waking up, and we're having breakfast. Here are your options for breakfast. I'm going to throw a dart at you because fuck you, that's why. The kid throws a dart at the butler for some reason that is not really explained, but I assume we'll get more concrete of an idea of what this relationship dynamic is supposed to be.
hmm
Because the thing about how all this seems to work is there's kind of an air of tension around all of it, which
Yes.
is really effective. Like, strangely effective. I couldn't really put my finger on why it felt so intense. It might be the timing, in fact. Just every interaction has a pause that is just maybe half a second too long to be natural. But it's not like accidental or poor pacing. These are very carefully calculated interactions, is the impression that it gives. Like, everyone is
Yeah.
taking just that little more time to think about how they're going to respond.
Which I kind of like. It's when you're normally talking with people who are being careful with what they're saying, they're not going to respond immediately. They're always going to take that moment because they want to say things in just the right way that they don't betray their true intent.
Yeah.
Word choice.
So, yeah, it sets an interesting mood for the show, um, which contrasts vibrantly with the interactions between the head butler, let's call him that, Sebastian, and the other three servants in the household's employ, whose names I've forgotten, but they're much more of the let's call it deliberately lower class. Like, they're kind of supposed to be the fuck ups of the household. And
Yeah, I see that.
in the dub, they all speak with Cockney accents, which, fair enough. That is kind of an ingrained cultural touchstone, thanks to things like Mary Poppins and that shit, where it's like, yeah, everyone with a Cockney accent is stupid and incompetent and just kind of a bumbling buffoon that you can laugh at and stuff. Yeah. But that's, it is what it is. Americans don't know the fucking difference, so who cares? Yeah, they probably don't quite understand the inherent classism in that kind of distinction. But so the household is getting ready for a visitor who is like a prominent figure in the household's business interests, who is secretly screwing them over or attempting to. Like, there is a whole factory that the family makes toys. It is their whole thing that they do that is a primary source of their wealth, beyond the whole inherited wealth thing, because they're an old family. And this dude is supposed to run a factory and make them lots of money by, producing and then selling toys. And instead, he has sold the factory and is now trying to scam the young head of the family by asking for money to hire more workers for the factory that they no longer own.
Pretty nasty stuff.
A little bit. So half of the episode is basically setting up for this visit, where Sebastian has done all of this kind of intricate preparation to make everything perfect, and the other three servants immediately fuck it up. In an attempt to be helpful, at least. But
it's some
like
nice light comedy.
Yeah, sure, why not? They're fun characters, at least. I can say that much.
Yeah, I liked them all.
Yeah. I can already imagine how many self-inserts of Mayren there were, the girl servant, whose name I just remembered.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
That's probably a whole thing on fanfiction.net.
I wasn't even thinking about that until you... Oh dear.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm gonna go look that up.
Yeah, that's happened a lot. So... Yeah, they fuck up the dinner, they fuck up the garden, they fuck up basically everything. So Sebastian comes up with a complete bullshit fix, like just on the spot, of, okay, the garden's fucked, so we're going to turn it into a Japanese rock garden. Cool. Italian guy, because he's Italian. In the dub, they actually do an Italian accent. It's probably very bad because, English accents are much easier and more accessible to do for Americans than Italian ones. The English accents are actually not bad in the dub, by the way. They do a decent job. But yeah, the visitor is very impressed by the rock garden and then goes to play a game with the young head of the household, which is a very macabre board game that basically looks like one of those like the Dark Souls board game or things like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the kid is very insistent on continuing to play the game while Italian dude is trying to do business things and have business conversations and getting increasingly irate about, you know, this kid just wanting to play a board game.
Why are you so childish, child? I mean, I don't mean that. Childness is your best quality.
Yeah, you make toys, so it's important to child.
He's really sick of having to deal with this kid.
Uh, which, if he wasn't scamming them, would probably have been kind of fair. But the implication is that the kid knew he was scamming him from the start, and thus that's why he's fucking with him. Um, so yeah, they play this board game, and uh, the Italian guy loses a leg in the board game, and then gets set on fire. This comes up later. So the game gets interrupted because dinner's ready. So they go out to have dinner, and more antics of trying to get everything going great. Uh, the girl servant has to pour wine, and her glasses are broken, and she is fantasizing about the butler. And she misses pouring the wine, and before it can spill over onto his lap, Sebastian pulls out the cloth from under all the stuff. Yeah, you know what was happening. You didn't have to look it up. Yeah. So, shenanigans happen. Dinner is over. Cool. Everything's okay. They go back to the board game. Business guy is like, it's weird. I have other things to do, you know. And the kid's like, no, we're finishing this fucking game, dude. He's like, okay, can I make a phone call? So he goes to make a phone call while Sebastian presumably watches. And he talks about how he's totally screwing them over and stuff. And then when he's going back to the room with the board game and the kid, he starts seeing things. He sees the faces in the portraits just seem to be staring at him. I think it's like, you will be haunted by the faces of the dead or something, which was one of the things that happened in the game. So he keeps going. He gets lost in the hallways of the mansion. He gets spooked by another portrait that two of the servants are moving because the kid asked for it to be removed earlier.
Yeah. Setup.
Yeah. And then I forget how he fucks up. Oh, he falls down the stairs because he was so scared.
He falls down the stairs and breaks his leg.
Yeah. And the girl is all, oh no, it's terrible, what are we gonna do? And then Sebastian's there and he's like, yeah, seems you've lost a leg. What a shame.
Haha. Shake a leg.
And then
break a leg.
He tries to keep running away, or crawling away rather, and the butler is like, oh wait, hold on. You lost a leg, remember? You can only move half as many spaces. Because of the board game.
Board game. Theming for punishment.
Yeah. And he hides in a room, and then fumbles around in the dark, and opens a door. Climbs into a suspiciously tiny room.
Hey, what's this stuff in here? And the butler shows up at the door, and it's just like, well, get into the desserts in the oven, I see. Wait, the oven?
You couldn't wait. You were so desperate for dessert that you climbed into the oven. That's and then presumably he doesn't die from this because, one, he didn't die in the game. He still was part of the game.
Yeah, he just runs out of the place screaming.
Yeah. Very badly burned, but alive. Yeah. And then we get established that, yeah, the kid knew all along that the guy was trying to fuck them. So, yeah, burning and broken leg and such.
And just psychological torture.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. It, yeah,
It's a classic.
I can see the appeal of the show. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a classic sort of episode that's meant to establish what these people are capable of, what they appear like to outsiders, and I estimate that like in the next upcoming episodes, we get to see more and more of the inner workings of this, for lack of a better term, family. I
Household.
guess. Yeah, household. There we go. That's the better term.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's one of those very straightforward, okay, here are your cast of characters. We're going to do a very self contained story that's just like, okay, we're going to show you how all these people are and tell you a fun little vignette that will get you interested in finding out more about these characters. That's all it is.
Mhm.
Doesn't go
I
too in
like those
depth, just
types
nice
of
introduction. That's it.
yeah, I like those types of first episodes.
Yeah.
For the purposes of this show, it's very helpful.
Hmm. It's very let's call it efficient. I feel like that's the wrong word, but we'll go with that. Fullmetal Alchemist did something very similar. The original version, if memory serves, they started with um, the Lior story with the fake Philosopher's Stone and the preacher
Yeah.
that's just kind of faking it and he's pretending that he can bring people's lost loved ones back to life and stuff, and yeah, just a small self-contained story that establishes the characters as interesting, where you want to know more about them and why they are the way they are.
And then you can always just later on go back and establish a little bit more of how they ended up this way.
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
because we get almost no setup on this. It is literally just there's a kid, he's trying to make a contract, and then we have a butler that is very clearly evil or malevolent to some degree.
yep, that's it.
Mm.
But
I, I'm gonna say Mayhem is actually kind of adorable though.
yeah,
It was very amusing. I'll
it
say that
was.
much. Mm.
I'm looking at the fan fiction page for Black Butler
How much?
right now. Let's see. There's Sebastian XOC. There's Yowie. Sebastian XOC. Um, yeah, lots of OC. Yowie and Mpreg.
Naturally.
Passing that. Sebastian XOC. OC.
I
Lots
mean,
of OC.
he's a demon. He could probably manage it somehow. Who knows?
You're not wrong, but I wish you were.
Okay. Yeah. I guess in that case, Mayran is just kind of an inconvenience that, you know, wish fulfillment authors would rather just get out of the way.
Mm.
Whether for the sake of the male on male or for self inserts. Or quote unquote original characters that are totally not self inserts. Wink.
And you gotta love the titles of the fan fictions.
Oh boy.
Like Fee Fi Fo Fum, Devils Like to Dance, One Hell of a Monster, Tabby Cat, My Butler Killed My Mom, Mating Season, Black and Red, Inertia Creeps, Domina Esquez, Carpe Diem, The Demon's Bride, How to Train Your Demon.
Boy.
Sounds fun.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. Most of these titles are not that bad. Demon's
Some of
Bride is
them
a little
are.
on the nose.
Uh, Heaven and Hell, Demoness, A Kiss to My Prince, Phantom High School Host Club. Wait.
Naturally.
Uh, A Demon's Pursuit, Come to Me, Methods of Entertainment, Agonia. Okay.
Oh boy.
Like some of these
That's
aren't too bad.
Agonia. Oh boy. That's. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that's in the hurt comfort genre.
Which one was that?
Agonia.
Agonia is in the genre of hurt, comfort, and angst. Yes.
Called it.
uh, then there's Black Butler, Kuroshi Tsuji, Sebastian XCL, Yaoi Boy X Boy is the title.
Okay. Yeah, alright. Some people don't quite get how titles work on FFnet, but whatever. Yeah, but
you are aware that the norm for fan fiction is for it to be not good, right?
the norm for anything is to be not good.
It's the norm for anything. I am going from the I'm reading down from the list of the ones with the most reviews to kind of understand that, like, for a lot of the point I want to get across is for a lot of people, like a lot of these fanfics are from like 2010, 2011, very early on, because this really did hit with people when, around the time it came out, yes, but when people were a lot younger. So I can see this being as a lot of people's first sort of fan fiction that they write, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. And, well, obviously, if you're getting started writing right out the bat, obviously it's not going to be as good as it can be. So,
It's just interesting that, like, I've had so much exposure to the, like, through osmosis to the fandom of this without actually ever seeing the show for myself. So
I've had no exposure to it, but after hearing what you have to say about it, I am interested in it. I'd particularly like it if we had more deadly games like the one you described. Could give some insight into what Yu-Gi-Oh! Was meant to be before the cards took over.
oh yeah. Let's go. Classic Yu-Gi-Oh! The way it was meant to be.
Do me a
We gotta
favor,
find the
Zero.
manga for that. Yeah?
Black Butler cross Yu-Gi-Oh! Search it.
Oh boy. Let's go. Let's take a look.
Just for funsies.
Meanwhile, though, just a reminder that with the turn of the new year, we have our vetoes back.
We do.
We do.
So, shall we see what's next to come?
Okay, there's 15 fanfics for Yu-Gi-Oh! And Black Butler crossovers, one of which is called A Game of the Soul. After 6 long months, Seto Kaiba has been rescued from the hands of a cult, barely alive. But what happened to the CEO, and who is his new companion? What is he hiding from his friends and family?
What friends and what family?
It's okay. It's just people doing Seto Kaiba x Sebastian. That's what it is. There's one with Yugi, but also Seto.
Yeah, he needs to have friends and family so it can be taboo. Is why he suddenly has them. That's the thing.
Well, I rolled a new one. 4.
D.
D.
96.
All right, 96. Let's go. 80.
Number 80. Let's see here. This one is called Double J.
Ooh.
That's that could mean a couple things in anime. Double J.
Double
Got
J.
it.
I found it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna link it.
4 minutes per episode.
Ooh.
We'll have to roll again.
Yeah.
26? It's 4 minutes per episode, so I'm rolling again. 26.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. 26, you said?
Mhm.
Give me just a moment to get this list properly sorted. There we go. And now 26, Date A Live.
Oh,
Date
boy.
Alive.
Oh boy.
Oh, the classic. I read the at one point I had read the first couple volumes of the light novel.
Okay.
I've read the first couple volumes of a lot of shows.
That's a good point. One day a girl appears and makes a time-space quake which destroys the town. This girl was called Special Disastrous Designated Creature Spirit. Bit of a mouthful. She is the commander of the anti-spirit organization Rodatosk. I'm presuming they missed the R at the end of that.
Or the Tosca.
Yeah.
There's an R at the end of that, yeah.
One day, a girl appears and makes a time-space quake which destroys us. Itsuka Shido is a high school boy. He has a task by Kotori, him sister-in-law, that go out on a date with the spirit
This is
girl.
a bad description.
Kotori said
read
that I don't ask you to beat the spirit, just let her fall in love with you and save the world. Date
Alright.
Alive is an interesting story between Shido, Spirit Girl, and Kotori.
All right.
Wow. Do me a
That's a
favor
bad
and read
summary.
a good summary, please.
All right. 30 years ago, the Eurasian continent was devastated by supermassive spatial quake, a phenomenon involving space vibrations of unknown origin, resulting in the deaths of over 150 million people. Since then, these quakes have been plaguing the world intermittently, albeit on a lighter scale. Shido Itsuka is a seemingly average high school student who lives with his younger sister, Kotori. When an imminent spatial quake threatens the safety of Tengu City, he rushes to save her, only to be caught in the resulting eruption. He discovers a mysterious girl at its source, who's revealed to be a spirit, an otherworldly entity whose appearance triggers a spatial quake. Soon after, he becomes embroiled in a skirmish between the girl and the anti-spirit team, a ruthless strike force with the goal of annihilating spirits. However, there's a third party that believes in saving the spirits, Rodatosker, which surprisingly is commanded by Shido's little sister. Kotori forcibly recruits Shido after the clash, presenting it to him an alternative method of dealing with the danger posed by the spirits, make them fall in love with him. Now, the fate of the world rests on his dating prowess as he seeks out spirits in order to charm them. Basically, date the girl, save the world.
Interesting.
Okay. I was gonna say I thought this was one of those weird pseudo harem stories. Yeah, it is. It has a harem tag.
Yep.
All right. For some reason, in my head, I put this in the same category of things like Idolmaster and all that stuff, but I might be thinking. Is there a show called Love Live or something? That might be what I was
Love
thinking.
Live, which is very different. It's like date them to stay alive. Bit different.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to veto it. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. It's actually fairly prominent and got a lot of spin-offs and adaptations to other things.
Yeah. There's like 10 different entries.
So people know about this even if you haven't watched it.
I dub too.
I never saw the anime. I had read the light novel and then I fell off it because, that's how I usually am with light novels of series like this with the harem tag. It's like, I'll give it a try. So, yeah. Data Live. Save the girl, save the world.
Okay. So we're doing that next week, unless Patient wants to veto it. He's still.
Yeah, not really worth vetoing.
Fair enough. Okay. So. Date Alive. Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I sound so enthused, don't I? Alright, whatever. It's fine. It's probably not terrible, but it remains to be seen. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Mm.